Click the playlist in the description.
T-Man 978 Show Review.
While Bruticus is still out here, let's just do this comparison right now. He is basically a deluxe class size. And let's go to extra mile. Here he is next to a current day deluxe figure. And mine has a little bit trouble standing up because the heel spur broke. This figure was donated to me by my friend Zero, and when he tried to move that heel spur, it broke completely off. So, I mean, I can get him to stand up using that one heel spur, but occasionally he'll fall over, which is basically just my problem, and more than likely won't be yours. Well, let's zoom in. He's actually a little bit shorter than Swindle. Even though it's kind of redundant, but I guess somebody will probably die if I didn't do this. Hello everyone, T-Man 978, reviewing Planet X's Caelus, which is basically a Fall of Cybertron Swoop, Dinobot Swoop. The packaging, it's kind of a mixed bag. Right now, it's like it's showcasing Swoop, making him seem like he's just very much a very important character because this whole box is basically him. And on the back, they have this image of him right here in this pose. But basically, there's nothing else going on. No barcode. It just says Planet X Caelus. It's like, if you didn't already know what this was, you wouldn't know what it was, which is kind of unfortunate, because basically there is no product details whatsoever besides these warnings on the side right here. The inner packaging is a plastic bubble with this detail right here, which is basically Caelus's back. Seems, no, it's not upside down. It says Planet X. So you could use this for pictures or whatnot if you wanted to. And it comes with the instruction manual and a tech spec card with the same image and his tech specs if anyone cares to see this. The instructions are lackluster. They're very, very short because it's a simple transformation, but I'm not even going to bother showing you guys. The main thing you need to know about the instructions is they kind of suck. They were hard for me to follow. But anyway, here is Caelus, and like I said, he's Fall of Cybertron Swoop. Looks pretty much like him, except they gave him better proportions in the game. He's like very, very overly blocky, like the old Dreamwave comics, which kind of, I mean, they're okay in the game, but it kind of looks weird because the arms are like this freaking thick when I re-looked at some of the images, and the legs were just big and chunky. So because they didn't follow that exactly, it doesn't look exactly like the video game, but it looks close enough. And basically they designed him to go with this dude right here. And yeah, shut up. This isn't the real Fall of Cybertron color Grimlock, but you get the point. That's his size to him, and I'm going to bring him back a little bit later to try something out. But he is nicely detailed and definitely has a ton of good paint. Like in the games, they had like vibrant colors all over their body, showing that I guess they have energon flowing through them. So they're picked out in light pink and red color highlights, like pretty much all over their bodies. The head sculpt, I don't really like it. It's too much of a departure from Swoop. Swoop didn't have like a faceplate. He actually had a real regular face. But as you can see, it has light piping. The light piping comes through these little slits right there, and actually somehow still lights the eye a little bit, because that is kind of dark plastic. But yeah, one thing I don't like, let's get into the articulation. The head can rotate because it's on a ball joint, and it can bend down and look up like that. It is on the hinge as well, but that hinge doesn't make the, I don't think it makes the articulation any better. Shoulders can rotate right there. The wings get in the way, but you can move them out of the way. They can go out like this, but it's going to bring the shoulder pad down like that, so you have to pick it back up. Bicep swivel on a mushroom bag. Elbow bend, 90 degrees. The wrist doesn't swivel, which frustrates me. If you have swords, you need to have swiveling wrist. Well, especially double swords. It does have a waist joint that bumps up against the backpack. The hips go out, they go forward, they rotate at the upper thigh. It does have double jointed knees. And one thing that's weird, well, let me finish the articulation. The foot to toe goes down like that, and the heel spur go down. One thing that could have made this and these little pieces on his backpack come off really, really easy. My major problem with this figure is they designed it to look like an actual authentic Hasbro Transformer from around 2012. Or when did that game come out? I guess it was 2012, 2013. But basically, this thing looks like it was really made by Hasbro, which is cool because it would fit into the collection. But they didn't go the extra mile. Like, this thing would be so much better if the toe could tilt forward a little bit more for poses. Because it's hard. I mean, I guess if you try, you can get in the balance, but I would have loved if that toe could go forward or at least pivot. Like I said, I don't like that the wrists don't swivel. I mean, that takes away from posabilities. That makes it very... It's cool that he has these two swords, but it's hard to pose them in something that looks good for me anyway. It can happen, but it's just difficult. The way the legs are designed as well, his legs stay straight. It would have been better for me if these knees could bend forward and make them a little bit easier to stand. Because when you do these straight poses, and I can imagine even if it had that heel spur, it'll be a little bit difficult to stand because the legs are like perfectly straight. Like this joint right here, it goes out for the transformation, but when you lift it up, it like automorphs up and gets in the way. But here are these wings. I just detached it from his back. Don't want to do that because now this is attaching. Come on. They're detailed but have a lack of detail at the same time. It swivels here, which is nice, bends here, and bends here. So it gives you a lot of options right there. Here's his back that you'll see more of in his alternate mode. The only thing that's better, way better about this toy than an actual Hasbro product is the paintwork. It's covered in paint, which is definitely nice. Besides these swords, he has these missiles, and this definitely put me in the Hasbro feel because it has a bunch of hollowness, and this is all one piece but painted on the tip. So they definitely give me a Hasbro feel. If you wanted to, you could put this on a sword. It doesn't look right, but there you go. And the sword definitely matches up with like Grimlock's sword. I don't know if they actually modeled this after the actual game model because I don't remember what the sword looked like, but this is nice. And this tip right here, you can literally puncture skin with that. So that's probably why this is ages 15 and up. But he can hold this missile in his hand as a gun, or it can peg under his forearms like that, if you like the look of that. Let's do both at the same time. The sword and this. So that is cool. I don't really like it too much. This thing, It doesn't look that good to me. Transformation. For storage sake, you don't have to do this, but I like to put the storage on the inside of the missiles right here. It kind of looks cool to me. And it makes sure you just keep everything together. But first thing you want to do is detach the wings off this peg right here under there on both sides. Make it all floppy. Then I guess we can open this panel and push his fist up in there. And they did have room to put that on a swivel right there if they wanted to, but they didn't. You can rotate the arms like this and push the shoulder panels down. And one important thing about these shoulder parts right here, they have to be angled out in order to move down. Once you move it down, it's a little peg hole at the bottom that you can reinsert this into. If you don't pull this out, you can't lift it up. So it's like the most important thing is pulling it out, then moving it. Pulling out, then moving it. So basically, do that on both sides. Now, with that like that, you can move this down, the whole back, and now these, where you unpegged it, you just repeg it back into the back of those red shoulder pieces on both sides. You can go ahead and lift this pterodactyl head up like that. And this is what was confusing to me in the instructions. You have to rotate this at the thigh. I couldn't really tell that. Take these panels and flip them in. Take these little things underneath of his toe on both sides and bring them up, and bring the heel spur into there if you have the heel spur connected. Go ahead and rotate these, and that heel spur connects into the little holes right here on his chest, which mine doesn't on this side, of course, but it stays, luckily. And then you can put these things just basically over his shoulders and peg this peg into the little hole right here on the side. It's kind of tough. It doesn't really feel like it's pegging to me. I mean, it stays in there good enough, I guess, but I wish it was a tighter fit. But basically now, once I put this thing on here that keeps freaking falling off, and I guess you can adjust these how you want, but basically he's a robotic pterodactyl or pterodon or whatever the real name is. I don't know. The feet, when it's flying, can be like this, but if you want to stand them up, I guess you have to put the feet like this, and then he is capable of standing under his own power. The neck doesn't rotate to the side. It can go up and down, but this doesn't click together at all with his robot mode head, so you have to like hold them both to move it. And this mouth opens and shuts. Let's try to get a close-up on that. It's not painted or anything. Looks very much Hasbro. And of course that sticker doesn't come with this thing. No, I think Extra Zero put that on. But yeah, it has a lot of nice Fall of Cybertron details going on, which is really cool. There's this thruster back there. But yeah, it's a decent pterodactyl. The only thing I wish is that the neck could rotate left and right, but it can't. But there you go, and the wings can go up. Oh wait, forgot two more transformations. This needs to come out. This hand needs to come up on both sides. Oh my god, I feel crazy. But I'm not refilming it. Now this completes the full look right there. So let's do all that. Stand up with these little hands, and the hands can rotate like this. And if you want to see it without the missiles, here's that. Or if you want to see it without the swords attached to the missiles, here's this. And you can also store these swords right here on his arms, if you'd like that a little bit better. I kind of feel like they get in the way right there because they're right underneath of the hands. So, me personally, I don't like that. These little things hanging over his shoulders, well, if you bring his toe down, with these hanging like this, this Grimlock has two slots right here. You can just peg them in there for some extra play value. And he can either sit over his head, or you can lift them up and they can go off flying if you'd like. So, yeah, an extra added feature. I guess that would be cool to somebody. Now, I got this free, so I'm lucky. But for the people that are paying $80, because I looked it up to see how much it costs, it's like basically roughly $80. I don't know if it's worth $80. I guess if you have to get all of the Fall of Cybertron Dinobots, I guess he's a must-have, but I'm not overly impressed with them too much. I mean, it is a good figure, but an $80 deluxe, he doesn't really impress me too much, to be honest. Like, this guy is significantly smaller, and he's only $20 cheaper, but I am way more impressed with this little rear end right here than I am with him. He came with some extra stuff too, to, I guess, bulk up that price. But, I guess, if you like this look, and don't really care about added articulation in certain areas where it would probably need it, then I guess I could say go for it, but I'm not very much impressed. I guess, as you can see with like poses like this, you probably would be better if you had like a flight stand or something, because he does get into some good dynamic flight poses and whatnot. But I don't know, he's just alright. If you like this video, if it was helpful to you in any type of way, think about giving me a thumbs up. What? Think about sharing. Think about subscribing. Comment. I'll read my comments. T-Man978. Out of here.